Today we're going to be learning about something called the Missouri Compromise. Now, the video and reading that I have for you posted, I think, do a pretty good job. So what I'm going to do is rewind a little bit and just give you a little bit of background to go with the Missouri Compromise. And first of all, compromise, we talked about this before with the Constitution, is when two disagreeing sides come up with a solution where both sides get kind of something that they want to help make each side happy to avoid some sort of conflict, okay? The conflict we're trying to avoid in 1820, barely 30 years after the Constitution was made, is that North and South, or northern states and southern states, are already arguing over slavery and the expansion of slavery, okay? So when the United States started, we started with 13 colonies. It became 13 states, all right? As you know, today we have 50 states. So we start with 13 and we spread across North America, also up in Canada where we have Alaska, and then down in Hawaii and the islands. Okay, so we, sorry, the lighting just changed, which was really weird. Okay, anyway, so we spread across the United States. As we spread across the United States, these decisions have to be made. What is going to happen with slavery? Is slavery going to spread across the United States too? Now, in the Constitution, there was already arguments over how many representatives people in slave states get. Do you count slaves as representatives? How much power do some states get over others? And so that was one of the reasons for the Great Compromise and the 3/5 Compromise to decide how many representatives each state would get. So we decided that bigger states would get more representatives and smaller states would get less, but in the Senate, which is also part of Congress, everybody would have 2. So right now in the United States in 1820, there's a balance. There's 22 states now. There's 11 free states and 11 slave states. Okay, so 11 states that allow slavery. So there's already arguments going on about balance of power. The North doesn't want the slave states to have more power than the North does. The slave states don't want the northern states to have more power than they do in Congress. So we're already getting into arguments and we haven't even gotten to the Civil War yet. What happens is Missouri is a territory. So we're getting bigger, right? So we get more land, and out of that land that we get, we make territories, and then those territories can become states. So they want to make Missouri a state, but Missouri, they want to make Missouri a slave state. If they make Missouri a slave state, then the slave states will have 12, and the free states will only have 11, which means there will be 2 more senators in the Senate from slave states than there are from free states, okay? So the power is not balanced. And then the House of Representatives, I don't remember exactly how many representatives they would get. It'd be based on the population, but there would be more representatives coming from slave states than coming from free states. So this is causing a problem. It's causing all sorts of problems. People are starting to want to get rid of slavery. So you have abolitionists in the North who want to get rid of slavery. You have people in the South who want to expand slavery because they're making money off of it. So they come up with a compromise. And basically what they do is they say, we will let Missouri come in as a slave state, but we will give you another free state. Well, where is this other free state going to come from? Okay, remember way back, there was only 13 colonies, but Maine is on the map. But way back when they're colonies, Maine is part of Massachusetts. Well, in 1820, which means this year, Maine would be celebrating its 200th anniversary. In 1820, Maine finally becomes its own state. And Maine enters the United States as a free state, keeping the balance of power between slave states and free states, at least for a little while longer. That also part of it is they come up with the line, the 3630 line of latitude that separates slave from free. So basically anything below that line can be slave states, and anything above that line can be entered as free states. And that seems to solve the problem, at least for a little while longer.